Hey, Hunters, Halo Zoo here for another look at Dungeons and Dragons 5.5. This is my homebrew project designed as a basic rework of 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons that has slowly become crazier and crazier over time. And now I've come forward and basically have been going through the classes and updating them post D&D 2024. I was going to put these videos out yesterday, but that didn't happen because of technical difficulties. So yeah, also it does mean that I've gotten to refine these a bit further, though this one isn't affected. At least that much. But anyway, we are going to be looking at the Bard, which is probably the least affected by 2024, mostly because two of the biggest changes to the Bard haven't been carried over. So you'll notice that Song of Rest is still around. And as we'll see with another feature, it's also more like 2014. So this is probably the least affected class, where it feels more like, oh yeah, it's more like 2014, mostly because I personally find that 2024 secretly screwed bards over more than anyone else. I mean, granted, I've been saying that since the playtest for 1 D&D, where it was like, oh, bard just sucks. And even post 2024, like the final version still sucks because they're using the new magical secrets from the second playtest, even though it's a piece of crap with the most ridiculous lines of text ever, but it just plays like just crap and is awful in actual practice. Uh, and so ultimately, it is kind of like, yeah, it's more like 2014, but with a major rework to spellcasting that I will mention, and also just way more in the colleges. They're going to be a lot more fleshed out. However, some of this is a work in progress, especially when we get to the colleges, as you'll see. Uh, so there is stuff that still needs updating and all that that I will be working on in the future. I might come back to these, and if it was unfinished or there's been enough updates that I feel like I want to do it again, I probably will go for it again. And whenever I approach a quote unquote official release, I'll probably do these previews again. However, without further ado, let's look at the Bard. So, right off at first level, we'll see spells prepared here. This is not because I am following the very stupid terminology change that basically says everything is spells prepared, even though nothing is actually effing changed except for Ranger and Paladin. Everyone else is the same, and I hate it. But here, that actually means bards are actually preparing spells. So you will be able to change your spells from the bard spell list each day. So you'll have your spells prepared. Bardic Inspiration die progression is pretty much the same. But at first level, we have spellcasting, because of course. Bardic College, as is kind of standard for D&D 5.5, you always start with your subclass. There is no dead period of, well, you're not quite the full class yet. Instead, no. You are a full-on bard. You're already in your college from the beginning. Then you also have Bardic Inspiration, as you'd expect, and something called Bardic Expertise. Basically, it is a slightly modified version of Expertise, so you will start with 3 skills instead of 2. However, as you'll see, there is a limitation with what bards get. Second level, Song of Rest returns from 2014. You also get Jack of all trades. Third level is a college feature. So you still get something from your college at third level. It is just, that's not when you get the college. Fourth level, meanwhile, is just an ability score increase in a feat, as per usual for the game. Fifth level, we have Font of Inspiration, though, as you'll see, it is not what it was before. Then you also have your first magical secret at this level. However, magical secrets, as you'll notice, will always be 3 levels behind your highest spell slot rank. So the first one is a cantrip at 5th level. Then every 2 levels you will get a new magical secret. I could push this up to 3rd, but I don't know if I will yet. It's a maybe, maybe not. It's a up in the air thing. Then at 6th level, we get a extra skill from Bardic Expertise. So you'll have 4 expertises. You also get a college feature at this level, as you did before. 7th level is Counter Charm and the first rank magical secret. 8th is ability score increase in a feat, as you expect. 9th level, you get your 5th Bardic Expertise, so you've now got all 5 that you get from Bard. So rather than going straight from 3 to 5, they do get it over multiple levels, so they get a smoother progression with it. And you get the 2nd rank magical secret. 10th level, you get a new college feature now, so that is part of the... Yeah, no, they just do more. And are actually interesting now, in my opinion, because, I mean, to be honest, like, Bard subclasses suck. They really do. Like, overall, they have the weakest subclass design. And they are far ahead of Paladin, even, where Paladin, I think, it doesn't really get much until the very end. Like, it doesn't start getting passive till way later, and it's like, yeah, I feel like there could be a passive thrown in, but Bard is still by far the worst. Rogues have bad progression, but at least they have 4 features and tend to have some unique stuff with all the stuff they get. So they at least have some cool stuff with what they get. It's just the progression's bad. But anyway, 11th level for the Bards, though. They now have Reliable Talent. And you will notice that this says 6 in parentheses. That is because, by default, Reliable Talent sets the roll to a 6. So it does way less than it did before. It's not a 50% chance of triggering. It is now a greatly reduced 25% chance to trigger, and it will be less overpowering when you get it. You also get the 3rd rank magical secret, 12th level, ability score increase in a feat. And why they're not listed is because these have been severed from class progression. Those are now exclusive to character level. This means if you do multi-class, you will have ability score increases in feats as you progress. But multi-classing has been changed to where you can only do it if you have 4 levels in your current classes. So you can't just multi-class all the time. 13th level, we get Endless Inspiration, which is I'll be honest, this is a quote-unquote new feature. It's not really new, but it's a rename of Superior Inspiration since that is doing something else. And this is now even earlier at 13th level. You also get the 4th rank magical secret here. Also, then at 14th, we get the college feature, though this is now not the capstone. Instead, this is the penultimate feature you get from them. 15th level, we get Mutual Inspiration, which is kind of obvious what that does, but oh well. And the 5th rank magical secret. 16th, ability score increase in a feat, as standard. 17th is going to be reliable talent. So it's upgraded to now be the flat 10. Since barbarians get a similar thing at this rank as this level as well, I decided to let them have an upgrade to it. And you get the 6th level or 6th rank magical secrets here. And then 18th is now where Words of Creation is. So this is now 2 levels earlier. 19th, ability score increase in a feat. And then 20th is your capstones with Superior Inspiration, which is basically a new feature at this point, and a college feature, which is a new capstone added to every Bardic college. So, as for the core features, hit points as standard for 5.5 stuff. You get 1d8 hit dice per level. The new starting HP is now going to be 8 plus your Constitution score, so you're not made of paper mache, and first level is actually playable, unlike 5e, especially post 2024, where it's like, yeah, no one wants to start at first level anymore. HP per level is still 5 plus con mod, though. Proficiencies, you just get light armor. For weapons, you get simple weapons, but also the hand crossbow, scimitar, and short sword. So this is slightly upgraded from 2024's, but it is downgraded from 2014. So it's kind of an in-between. Tools is a bit different now, so you can choose 2 musical instruments and 1 artisan's tool, or you can choose 3 musical instruments. So basically the idea I had is I want them to be more about art stuff. So I decided it might be cool and open doors for new avenues of creativity with the bard if they innately get artisan's tools. Now, this is intended for very specific ones. For example, masonry or carpentry probably isn't something a bard is going to get. They're probably going to go for more artistic things and abstract stuff. So they might go for artist supplies. They might go for calligrapher's tools, especially if they're a poet, and calligraphy is how they write down their poems in beautiful calligraphic style. You might also be a weaver, and you make these banners and streamers that you swing as part of your dance-like routines. And their saving throw proficiencies are still Dex and Charisma. Skills, you still get to pick any 3 skills of your choice, but you're now one of the classes that gets extra languages. So they are one of 3 classes, as I recall off the top of my head, that will get them. Well, actually 5, but only 2 classes are currently planned to get a choice of extra languages. The other 3 will be classes that get a specific extra language, and you already know 2 of them as Druid and Rogue, but the 3rd is going to be Warlock. And the other class that gets to choose extra languages of their choice, I mean, it's Wizard. It's pretty obvious, but Bards just get 1 extra language. Spellcasting, as you'd expect, their ability score is still Charisma for spellcasting. Cantrips and spells prepared are cantrips same, but the spellcasting focus, you can now choose an arcane focus. Once again, this is to kind of open new avenues for creating a bard and playing around with them in interesting ways. So the main idea for this is that you're not really intended to grab the orb or crystal. You're supposed to grab the staff, rod, or wand, where the wand might be like a conductor's wand, where you're conducting the magical forces, kind of like Link in the Wind Waker, using the Wind Waker itself to conduct magic, basically. Then you might have a staff as like a flag twirler, you know, where they spin the flags and twirl it around, while a rod might be a marching baton, where you know, like when you see a marching band and they've got the baton that they carry as like the head of the marching band, basically. Stuff like that, where it's have fun and creative ideas with your bard, where it's not just about musical instruments and song, it's now a wider array of performing arts that isn't just limited to one subclass. No, this is for all bards. You now have these options to be more creative with how you make your bard. Then there's spells prepared. This is going to include a change that I want to experiment with and consider. So you prepare spells now, as in actually prepare spells. When you rest, you can change a number of your spells. But now, instead of just changing all of them as a full caster, you can change up to your charisma modifier. So you can change a limited number, but ultimately, though, I don't think it will affect gameplay, because very rarely will you ever like change all your spells. This is just a thematic thing of, oh yeah, you only have to change this number. Then your spell slots progress as normal. So the features, you got Bardic College, spellcasting. Same stuff as, it's basic stuff. Then we have Bardic Inspiration. So this still gives you a pool of inspiration dice equal to your charisma modifier. It begins as a d6 and goes up to a d12. But a major change, you regain all expended inspiration uses with a short or long rest right from the start. That has been ripped from Font of Inspiration and just plugged into the base ability. Never been a fan of how it worked, where, so you mean I can only get them on a short rest if I'm 5th level or higher when it's a d8. It's really don't like it. So instead it's just baseline to it, where it's like, no, it always is with a short rest. Then we have the Inspire Greatness ability, which is just the default Bardic Inspiration, but it has a specific name, just for the convenience of, if something specifically affects Inspire Greatness, but not other uses of Bardic Inspiration, it will now say Inspire Greatness. Also, it's a callback to 3rd edition, because one of the Bardic music abilities was Inspire Greatness, or something similar to it. But anyway, as a bonus action, expend a Bardic Inspiration use to inspire a creature in 60 feet of you, give them a Bardic Inspiration die. Well, it has it, they fail a d20 roll. They can choose to expend the die and roll it and add it to the result. So it works as it does in 2024, where you can react to something happening and, oh yeah, boom, roll the die. But otherwise, it's, it's basically the same thing. It's just now got a special name. Then we have Bardic Expertise. So you choose one musical instrument or artisan's tool you're proficient with. And then 2 other, decide not to add extra checks. And 2 other skills or tools you're proficient with, and gain expertise with them, doubling the proficiency bonus with them. At 6th and 9th level, you can choose one more skill or tool to gain expertise in. So why it's different is that you get that musical instrument or artisan tool. So basically one of the tool proficiencies you get. Just because I felt like it felt right that bards would also have expertise in a musical instrument, or whatever their like their artistic tool is. So that is why they have up to 5, but one of them is a tool. Second level, we also, we're going to get Song of Rest. So during a short rest, you can perform a song, speech, poetry, or some other performing art. If you do so, each creature of your choice resting with you regains HP equal to 1 roll of your Bardic Inspiration die plus your Charisma modifier. And you can only do this once per day now. I'm going to grade it to 2. But anyway, so this has been changed to where this is now tied to Bardic Inspiration. So it progresses with the Bardic Inspiration die, but it does not expend them. So you just use Bardic Inspiration dice. They just scale with them. So just once per day, 2 Bardic Inspiration die plus Charisma modifier to heal during a short rest. So it's there, and it's just a nice little thing. Jack of all trades, meanwhile, we make skill roll check without proficiency. You just add half proficiency bonus to the roll. Same as it was before, pretty much. Font of Inspiration is now just the 2024. You can expend a spell slot at first rank or higher to activate Bardic Inspiration. Works as it does. So just the short rest part is now just part of the base class. So it's just, oh yeah, Bardic Inspiration always does that now. There you go. Then we have Magical Secret. So basically, you learn a cantrip from the Bard, Cleric, Druid, or Wizard spell list, and it counts as a Bard spell for you. Then, so you do learn additional spells with this. So unlike 2024, where they made it where you just have the Cleric, Druid, and Wizard spell list added to your Bard spell list, but don't get any extra spells to compensate. Now it's, these spells are severed from your Bard spells entirely. So this Bard spells prepared is separate to Magical Secret spells. However, so there is a few differences with this. So you will actually notice that so there is a change coming up. But at 7th level, choose a first rank spell from the same list as the cantrip, and it counts as Bard spell for you, and it doesn't count against Bard spells prepared. So basically, you now choose which of the 4 lists you pull from for Magical Secrets for all your Bard progression. So you can choose to have more Bard spells available to you. You could choose to have some Cleric spells available to you. You could choose Druid spells or Wizard spells. Might change the formatting on this, but basically, you choose one class and dedicate yourself to spells from that list. So the main idea I had for this is I wanted it to be more of a, you make a dedicated choice and then you progress just with that. And you can't just, oh, I grab the best Wizard cantrip, the best first rank Cleric spell, the best second rank Druid spell, go back to Wizard for 3rd rank, but then we go to Bard for 4th rank. None of that. You dedicate yourself to one class. If you go down the path of the Wizard spells, you always get a Wizard spell for Magical Secrets. So there's a bit less versatility with this. So it's even more limited, where it's now you only pull from one list, but you can choose the Bard, so you can specialize in being a Bard and specialize in the Bard stuff. Or you could branch out and go into Cleric, Druid, or Wizard stuff if you want to. 7th level, we get Counter Charm. So if a creature in 60 feet of you fails saving throw against being charmed, frightened, use a reaction, let them reroll a saving throw with advantage. I might make it you can add your Bardic Inspiration to this. But I don't know. Then at 11th level, Reliable Talent. Whenever you roll a skill or tool check you have expertise in, can treat the d20 roll as a 6 instead of the number rolled. And at 17th, you treat that d20 roll as a 10 instead. So it still does a preset number, but I really don't like how it just negates skill challenges early on. So instead, it's like, okay, well, you only get a 6, so when you get it, it's only going to be a +8. So you're only going to get a 14 minimum. I might lower this to 4, so it's a minimum of 12, but that might be a bit too rough on it. But the idea is that you do have... yeah, I'm going to lower it to 4. So it's like, you know, it's... to 4 and then 8. So it's not going to be as dominant, and it doesn't happen as often, so it now happens significantly less than it did before. And it's only going to have a floor of 12 minimum, but it's still going to be like, I mean, you can still get it to 16. 16 to 17 as your floor. Because it is just a rampantly powerful thing. But the idea is that it's not as take over the game as it was before. At least at first. Like, 17th level, yeah, sure, go crazy with the 25 default. I might just cut that entirely, that it scales. Yeah, I am, actually. No more scaling for you. Which also means I have to... So 17th level is now just the 6th rank magical secret. But, well, it's fine. But anyway, the idea is that it's not going to be rampantly powerful like it was before. Instead, it's good, but it doesn't come up half the time anymore and just negate ever rolling that skill. Endless Inspiration, meanwhile, whenever you roll initiative, you regain 1 expended use of Bardic Inspiration, so it's what Superior Inspiration does, even earlier, but renamed. Then we have Mutual Inspiration, which, whenever you use Inspire Greatness, you can use grant a Bardic Inspiration die to 2 creatures in range, set as just 1 at a time. So basically, you target 2 creatures with it at once. 18th level, Words of Power. Basically the same feature from 2024, but 2 levels earlier, so you always have Power Word Heal and Kill prepared. Don't count against Bard spells prepared. And when you cast either spell, target 2 creatures in 15 feet of each other instead of just 1. Then at 20th level, the new capstone of Superior Inspiration. This is now double the result of any Bardic Inspiration die rolls. So a Bardic Inspiration die now has a result of 2 to 24 per die. And whenever you use a feature that requires Bardic Inspiration use, you can use it without expending a use of Bardic Inspiration, but the die is only a d6. So that has a result of 2 to 12. So yeah, you're doing a lot of stuff with Bardic Inspiration dice. So basically, you're just the master of inspiration. It is truly superior inspiration now. But all jokes aside, I do think this is like a big capstone of, yeah, no, your basic feature, here's that feature on steroids. And also at-will inspiration. I could probably move this to be part of Endless Inspiration, but I just like the idea of just, it's part of Superior Inspiration, so you wait till the end, but it's like, yeah, no, it's crazy. So then the colleges. So the College of Lore. So its abilities are now Bardic Knowledge, which is replacing extra proficiencies. So it's now just called Bardic Knowledge. You also have Mystical Lore, then Cutting Words, Mystical Adept, Magical Lore, Peerless Skill, and Master of Lore as you progress. So Bardic Knowledge, gain proficiency in any 2 skills and or tools, and learn an additional plus intelligence mod languages. So you get lots of extra knowledge, and you can use intelligence instead of dexterity, strength, or wisdom on skill and tool checks. So any skill that's not charisma or con based, boom, use intelligence. So you do have intelligence as a secondary stat now. Then you have Mystical Lore, where you get to choose a cantrip and a first rank spell from the Bard, Cleric, Druid, and or Wizard spell lists. So this isn't Magical Secrets, which means it is not bound to the same rules. So you are able to choose any spells you want as the extra spells you know and always have prepared. So you can choose from different lists, since I decided that College of Lore should probably be a bit more adaptable. Uh, so yeah, you have adaptability, but you do uh, it is like your subclass thing only. Third level, we get cutting words still. So whenever a creature in 60 feet of you succeeds on a d20 roll, use a reaction and roll the Bardic Inspiration to subtract from the roll. This doesn't affect damage rolls right now, though I might add that back. But oh well. I might also make it where that is Bardic Inspiration die plus int to the damage reduction, but oh well. Mystical Adepts, add plus intelligence mod to the damage and healing rolls of spells you cast. So when you damage or heal somebody, add your intelligence mod. Use it a bit more. Since it's not the most aggressive with its secondary stat, but oh well. 10th level, we get magical lore. So you get a 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th rank spell from the Bard, Cleric, Druid, and or Wizard spell lists. And of course, the count as Bard spells, yada yada yada. So yeah, they just get even more magical secrets now. 14th level, Peerless Skill. When you roll a skill or tool check, you use a free action to expend a Bardic Inspiration die and roll it and add that result to the check. So just even more uses. Then Master of Lore. So Jack of all trades is now just flat plus prof. Proficiency is now double proficiency bonus. And expertise is now triple proficiency bonus. So you just go stupid with skills. Which does mean you are adding 18 to reliable talent, but you're you're a master of lore. Like, it's 20th level. Who cares? Go crazy with skills. Also, the bonus of Mystical Adept is doubled, so you add twice your intelligence modifier. And you get to a 6th and 7th rank spell from the Bard, Cleric, and or Wizard spell lists. So you get even more powerful spells with your magical secret knowledge. So you just get lots of magical secrets. They're not actually magical secrets, but oh well. They're just different because I felt like they probably should be technically different. Not gonna shackle them with the rules, especially because it starts earlier than magical secrets, but oh well. Then the College of Valor. So they now get Fighting Style Initiate. As for reference, fighting styles now have 3 features at 6th and 14th level. College of Valor just gets the Initiate part. They also have Valiant Duelist, which replaces extra proficiencies. And Saga of Valor, which is a whole new ability that is built into. 3rd level, we get Inspire Valor. 6th is Valiant Attack. 10th is Saga of Endurance. 14th is Battle Magic. And 20th is Saga of Legend. So, fighting styles you can choose from. 1st level are Dueling, Great Weapon, Long Arm Protection, 2-Weapon, Defense, or Brawler. So, basically the melee ones, pretty much. Because I wanted them to be more of a melee-focused build. Then Valiant Duelist. You're proficient with medium armor, shields, and martial weapons. And you can use Charisma to attack with instead of Strength or Dexterity. But only for melee weapons. Actually, I'm going to specify it. Melee and thrown weapons. So you can use it with weapons you throw, but you can't use it with like a bow, basically. And you can use Con for AC instead of Dex. And melee weapons can be used as spellcasting focus, because, yeah. So basically, you're just actually good on your own. You don't need to go into Warlock. They just work on their own. Boom. We also get Saga of Valor. So as a bonus action, you grant yourself and any creatures of your choice in 30 feet of you +1 attack rolls and save DCs, and plus con on damage and healing rolls till the start of your next turn. And you have con uses of the feature. You gain 1 expended use with a short rest, and all expended uses with a long rest. So basically, you just give a quick boost of go and kill. 3rd level, we get Inspire Valor, which Inspire Greatness can now be used for damage and healing rolls. So kind of what it was before. 6th level, we have Valiant Attack. When you take the attack action, make 2 attacks instead of just 1. And whenever you cast a Bard cantrip as a standard action, you can make a weapon attack as part of that action. 20th level, you can make 2 weapon attacks as part of that action instead. So basically, you just get double the attacks. So it's built upon extra attack, but it's not called extra attack because it's not just extra attack. 10th level, we get Saga of Endurance. Whenever you use Song of Valor, targets also gain +1 to AC and saving throws, and they gain Charisma plus Con mod temporary hit points. So now you get a defensive buff with Saga of Valor. Or actually, I forgot to call it Saga here. Just ignore that. Because it's Saga of Valor. And then Battle Magic. When you cast a Bard spell 1st rank or higher, standard action, make a weapon attack as part of that action. 20th level, and make 2 attacks as part of that action instead. So, just improved from what it was. Saga of Legend, then, just double the bonuses and temporary points granted by Song of Valor. Not original, but I'll probably work on something else. I might make it where you always give, like, it's an aura of +1 AC and saving throws, and on attack roll and save DCs while in 30 feet of you. But then the bonuses, in addition to this, where while it's not active, you do that aura bonus, basically. Then we have College of Glamour, which is currently unfinished because they are, or actually, no, it is finished. So I have actually finished this one. The next one, not so much. But we now have college spells, which these are just spells you always have prepared. We have Charm Person, Command, Enthrall, Suggestion, Beacon of Hope, Summon Fae, Charm Monster, Compulsion, Dominate Person, and Yolanda's Regal Presence. So just some, like, Fae and enchantment-themed spells. 3rd rank is when I realized that, 2024 PHB just does not have 3rd rank enchantment spells. Like, not even on Wizard. It's just baffling. But anyway, 1st level, we get Improved Command. So whenever you cast the command spell, creatures charmed by you have minus charisma on the saving throw, and you can speak up to 3 words for the command you give the target. So it just opens up even more creativity, but also lowers the floor a bit, so it's easier to use. So it's easier to use, but you can also do more incredibly creative stuff as well. 3rd level, Mantle of Inspiration. Pretty similar to what it was, but as a bonus action, you can expend a Bardic Inspiration die, grant up to Charisma creatures in 60 feet of you 2 rolls of your Bardic Inspiration die and THP. So instead of doubling it, it's just 2 rolls of it. But both do get doubled at 20th level, by the way. And you can use reaction to shift half their speed. So each person affected can shift, which is just movement without provoking opportunity attacks. So yeah, it's just way shortened from what it was worded before. Mantle of Majesty, it's 6th level. As a bonus action, taking on Mantle of Majesty for up to 1 minute, ending early if you're knocked unconscious. As part of this action, and as a bonus action on subsequent turns, you can cast Command at 1st rank without using a spell slot. Once you use this feature, can't use it again until you finish a long rest. But unlike 2024, where you could use spell slots to do it more, that is gone. But instead, at 11th level, you get 2 uses per day, and at 16th, you get 3 uses per day. 10th level, we also get Fast Charmer, so you can cast Charm Monster, Charm Person, and Command as bonus actions instead of standard actions, so basically, they're always quickened now. Universal Appeal, meanwhile, Whenever you attempt to charm a creature that is immune to the charmed condition, you instead treat it as if it wasn't immune, but they have +4 on saving throws against being charmed. So, basically just a, hey, you're built around charming people. Yeah, that doesn't work if they're immune to being charmed, so you can now charm them even though you shouldn't be able to. Like, you're that good at charming people, you can charm the uncharmable. Then Mantle of Awe at 14th. As bonus action, take on a Mantle of Awe, which can be part of the same action as Mantle of Majesty, so you can use both at once. Lasts for up to 1 minute, ending early if you're knocked unconscious. While the Mantle of Awe is active, whenever a creature hits you with an attack, it must make a Charisma saving throw, using your spell save DC, of course, or the attack misses instead. Attacker has disadvantage on save if they have been affected by one of your college spells or attacked by one of your Fey spirits since the start of your last turn. Basically, if you used any of these spells on them, this doesn't work. They have disadvantage. And once you use this feature, can't use it again until you finish short or long rest. So, there you go. Then at 20th level is now Glorious Mantle. So Mantle of Majesty and Mantle of Awe now last up to 1 hour instead of 1 minute. Or 10 minutes, I think it was. It's 1 minute. Yeah, just a minute. And THP of Mantle of Inspiration is always the maximum amount of 24. And the creatures can shift their full speed instead of just half. So you just get everything buffed. Might change this out for something else. I might actually make it something while you have both Mantle of Majesty and Awe active. You get a supercharged effect. But, oh well. Then, last but not least, is College of Whispers. So this one is incomplete, as you can already tell. Because I'll be blunt and say these were the hardest to work on. Just casually doubling the number of features the Bardic colleges have isn't easy. Especially when they tend to be so shallow relative to a lot of other classes that at least have very clear directions they want to go and have plenty of depth to them for the most part. Some still kind of lack that, looking at you, Battle Master. However, I do think that the Bard has it the worst by far. College of Valor, let's take a moment to appreciate. All they get is extra proficiencies, a little buff to base Bardic Inspiration, extra attack, and then Battle Magic. That's it. They don't get anything interesting. It's just extra proficiencies. It doesn't even fully work either. But back to College of Whispers. So they also have college spells, as they're kind of intended to be a kind of cousin to College of Glamour. However, they work slightly different. So their college spells, you'll notice, are all illusions rather than enchantments. So they have Disguise Self and Shadow Slice. Shadow Slice is a new spell that basically is just a attack somebody with an illusion spell at first rank. And we also have Invisibility and Phantasmal Force. Third rank, we have Fear and Phantom Barrage, another new spell. This time, just a big AoE of illusions that damages people. Fourth rank, we have Greater Invisibility and Phantasmal Killer. Then finally at 5th is Mislead and Seeming. Then we have Adept of Secrets, a new feature that is added on to give them extra proficiencies, since they didn't have that before for some reason. That in their other feature was just bad at 3rd level, so that's just cut. It's gone. Good riddance. But for Adept of Secrets, you get proficiency with the Rapier, since they are kind of the roguish inspired one. So they get the rapier for free, so you can stab people with it. And then 2 of the following skills or tools of your choice: Deception, Disguise Kit, Insight, Investigation, Sleight of Hand, and Stealth, as well as Thieves tools. So you get some roguish stuff to add on to your skill set. Then we have Deceptive Blade. So you learn the Phantom Blade cantrip, which is a new cantrip that summons a phantasmal dagger in your hand that you can use to attack. Also, when you scale with cantrips, this dagger becomes a magic item. So it gets a +1 bonus for every cantrip upgrade. So it is now a scaling magic weapon. Shillelagh is also going to work the same way, by the way. However, for Deceptive Blade, when you create the Phantom Blade, you can also choose to have it be a short sword or rapier instead of a dagger. And as a free action, once per round, you can change which form it is in. So this is also why they have rapier proficiency, by the way. I might also build on this and add some exotic weapon options, but you have to have proficiency with them to create them. So once again, like, I want to be careful with getting exotic weapons, which is a new thing that is returning from 4th edition, as the weapons are being reverted to more of a 4th edition style, where they're going to be much more fleshed out. However, this currently is not built around that. I might add that in later, but of course this is a work in progress anyway, so yeah, it's unfinished. Then we also have Psychic Blades at 3rd level. As a bonus action, you can choose yourself or a creature in 60 feet of you and make a melee spell attack against another creature in 5 feet of them from that space. So basically, instead of making this attack from your space, instead it's like you choose an ally and the Psychic Blades attack from their space. Or it could be an enemy's space and attack another of your enemies. And this deals 2 rolls your Bardic Inspiration die in psychic damage on a hit, half on a miss. And creatures can't tell you are the source of the attack unless the attack originated from your space, or they succeed against it on a perception check against your spell save DC. So basically, they don't know it was you who actually did this unless they perceive you, or of course, if you made the attack from your space as, like, oh, Psychic Blades came from this space. It's pretty obvious you did it. So no amount of perception can stop them from thinking you're the cause. Mantle of Whispers, not sure what I'm doing with it yet. There is Piercing Whispers, however, which says whenever you deal psychic damage or deal psychic damage with an illusion, deal damage with an illusion spell, since there is now at least one illusion spell that does a radiant damage called Color Strike. You add plus charisma to the damage dealt, and it ignores resistance to psychic damage. Immunity to psychic damage is treated as a resistance would be. So, basically, you're even better with psychic damage. You're built around it, so hey, you're able to get past defenses for psychic damage. Shadow Lord 14th, don't know what I'm doing. The other 2 new features, I don't know what I'm doing for them. But anyway, this has been the look at the Bard as I'm updating it to go in line with the 2024 rules. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and you can also stay tuned by liking and subscribing and all that stuff for the other 2 support classes coming up today. So that's going to be the Cleric and the Druid. You can also go to the channel and look at the Barbarian, Fighter, and Paladin, aka the Warrior classes or tanks. But anyway, without further ado, I will see y'all next time. Halo Zoo, out.